Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Scott.
I'm John.
And we're married.
Yay. 3 years.
3 years. We just had our wedding anniversary.
Yay. On Wednesday.
This past Wednesday. So that was fun. We've been in July. Did we figure this out in July? It'll be 9 years or 10 years that we've actually been together.
9.
Yeah. So, but they made marriage legal like 3.5 years ago. Or 4 years ago? No,
5 years ago.
5 years ago. That's right. We had a 2-year engagement.
It was very important.
It was very Victorian.
No one's listening to us anyway. They're all looking at the cat.
Yes. I'm not sure what he's doing. He just decided to get up there. I think he knew that we were going to podcast, and he's like, "Excuse me, it's time for my close-up, Mr. DeVille."
He's being very...
Oh, here we go. Okay, let's just keep going.
Okay. He jumped off. He jumped on the ground. Didn't try to knock the camera over.
Crisis averted.
Yes.
All right, so what are you drinking today, John?
Tea.
I'm also drinking tea, also known as a rum and coke, but that's because it's Sunday and I have to go back to work tomorrow. Even though we have a short week coming up because we are going to Atlanta to visit Biddy and Aunt Helen. Biddy Ann is my mother. As you all know, she is the genesis of my knitting problems and my knitting addictions, and her sister, Aunt Helen. Mm-hmm. We're going to see the Georgia Aquarium. We're going to see Cody from the Cody Knits podcast.
We will probably do some sort of footage-y thing there.
Biddy Ann better get ready. She's going to have to put on all her makeup and all of her whatever, because...
We're not going to tell her.
I know, it's going to be...
It's going to be surprise. They're like, oh yeah, we've been podcasting.
What did you say? Stealth footage?
Stealth footage. Found footage.
It's going to be like a horror movie. A found footage horror movie. Alright, so... we have a plan for this episode. Believe it or not. Oh, sorry, got to get my... I forgot I left it over there. So, first things first... we're first of all, we're a knitting podcast, not a gardening and landscaping podcast.
No.
However, having said that, we've been doing a lot of gardening and landscaping.
Yep.
So that's been very exciting. Because it's finally warm here in Minnesota, warm enough that it's not freezing at night.
Right, and this is like the 3 weeks you can actually plant stuff before it goes to broiling. Not broiling, but hot.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff has to get in the ground right in May for first 3 weeks of May, and
then, or you're just done.
And if it's a vegetable or something, our growing season is so short that you'll never get anything out of it. But so things are going well here in Minneapolis. We're going to Atlanta, and then my birthday. I mean, it should be my birthday month, but it's just a birthday week. Oh, time out. What was April 30th?
Was that the first year? Oh, yeah.
It was our podiversary. It was our 1-year podiversary.
That name is stupid.
So anyway, it's our 1-year anniversary of doing our podcast.
Yes.
And we did 16 episodes last year, in the last calendar year, or in the last 12 months, I should say.
That's pretty awesome. About one every 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. One every 3. I think that would make it every 3 weeks, right?
Sure. If we did 14...
16.
So, I can't do the math.
Yeah. So sometimes we did them close together, obviously. So that was fun. And then, so we're going to start off by something that we started with the last episode, which was commenting on the comments. So it's like our back and forth with our viewers. And what?
It's very meta.
Commenting on the comments. Too bad we're not commenting on the comments that were comments of the comments or something like that. But
we very may well be in a couple of next 2 episodes from now.
Right. I'm keeping my list or my comments to the previous episode because otherwise they would get a little crazy.
Right.
And so if you're one of those folks like I can be sometimes where you're like, I really want to get to the knitting content, love you guys, but I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to try to put a marker in. I haven't done this before, but I think you can put a marker in with YouTube where you can jump to the knitting content. Mm-hmm. And I think it'll be in the description of the video, so I'll try to do that. And then after that, Our cowl has finished.
Mm-hmm.
Our Sweet Tea No Shade cowl has finished. And so we will be announcing the winners for that.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about... So we're going to talk about works in progress and finished objects.
I thought new comments first.
Oh, that's right. Okay, my plan is going really well.
You know what? He writes it down. I keep him to it.
Thank you. I need that. All right, so I'm going to just run through here. I have to try something with you. So you have to tell Siri that you love her.
The current volume is 94%.
Thank you, Siri. Sorry.
Hey Siri, I love
Good
you.
evening.
Ah.
Try it
Hey
again.
Siri, I love you. Hey Siri, I love you.
That's nice. Can we get back to work now?
Okay, this is a fail. Never mind. We'll cut that out. It's supposed to say "I know" back to you.
Maybe you only did that on Friday because it was May the 4th.
Oh, that's possible. Okay, well, Kat, that was a big hashtag fail. So that
Did
was...
she? Oh, 2 weeks ago, so maybe not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, anyway. So, also, there are several people. So, Laura Sarr, Lucy Solar, a few other people mentioned that we should take those little beads and make stitch markers out of them.
Wouldn't they be heavy?
Yeah, well, no, stitch markers, not progress keepers. So, stitch markers as in you put them on your...
But wouldn't they be too thick?
Oh, wouldn't they be too thick?
You'd have to put them on something and hang them off.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering about that. Like, do people... Sometimes I have stitch markers or whatever, and I'm like, that's super thick. Like, I wouldn't be able to get my stitch around it.
Yeah.
Or it would cause a gap.
Or a ladder.
Or a ladder. Yeah, I'm just curious if other people...
I tend to use like the little like safety pin looking ones all the time because number one, I find that my initial stitch counts are never right. So if I put this, I do like count to 15 and put a little thing I can't move, then I'm like forever messed up. So
yeah, like when you're doing cast on, when you're
when you cast on, you're supposed to place the stitch markers and stuff like that. And if I don't do the ones I can move, then it's just super tragedy.
I see what you mean. Yeah, like you can unhook it and then hook it back
Mm-hmm.
on. All right. So Melissa from the High Fiber podcast pointed out the green and yellow as the Packers, and yes, I as a Vikings fan, I mean I actually do like watch football and like the Vikings, but yeah, I would never want Green Bay colors to be around here. But this, I'm sorry, this is back in reference to the yellow yarn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody, what?
It's like I don't even think of green and yellow as Packers colors. That's. So I think I'm going to do something with pink and yellow.
Ooh, that's good.
Kind of Eastery, maybe.
Well, there were several ideas.
Okay.
So I'll mention them too.
Okay.
So Melissa said, what about Grello? Which people, I don't know where that came from or if it's used in other contexts, but I know a lot of people talking about it with knitting, how good gray and yellow go together.
You could hold them together.
Ooh, she says a darker gray would balance out that bright yellow really nicely, I think.
Nice.
And then she says that 1,100 yards of fingering weight, that thing that I kept, is from a company called Entre Lock Yarns. They're from Wisconsin. I took a dyeing class from them once.
Nice.
So that's cool. I think I've heard of Entre Lock Yarns. It would be neat if that was somewhere you could go. I don't know anything about them. I don't know if they you could go to their place, if they have a shop, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'll look into that. But then T. Vernon, we talked about this like in our first episode, but I thought it'd be fun to talk about it a little bit again. Is how did we learn to knit?
Okay.
So why don't you start?
So I learned to knit maybe like 15 years ago. I was dating a guy once who started knitting, and I thought that looks interesting. So I knit on and off for about a year. Went to a knitting circle, and then we have a family friend who Leslie Weigel.
Oh, Leslie, yeah.
She taught me how to. So I learned to sort of stick the thing in, wrap the yarn around, pull it through that way. And so I was home for a little bit, and she sort of taught me how to
finesse it a bit.
Finesse it a little bit, so I was a little less angry.
Yeah. That comment was from T. Vernon, and specifically what she said is, you said you only started seriously knitting last year. How did you do that? So I think, for me, you taught me to knit, and I knit like a scarf.
Yeah, like 2 scarves.
Yeah, I didn't really do too much with it. Wasn't real excited. I mean, it was fun or whatever, but it wasn't something I was like dying to do a lot of.
Right.
And then I went home to visit my mom and visited her in Georgia, and that was when she started showing me, like, all the different podcasters, like the Grocery Girls and the Bakery Bears and the... this ties into something that other people talk about, is she handed me a skein of sock yarn and a 9-inch circulars, and was like, here, let's have you knit a sock. And so... everybody's like, oh my god, that's crazy. How can you knit with those 9-inch circulars? And I was like, well, that's what she...
I have a question.
Yes.
How many socks has Biddy Ann completed in the last year?
I think 1 pair.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the 6 or 7 pair that I've knit I'm outpacing her. I'm just saying, Mom. Just saying.
That's like a 6... You've lapped her like 6 times.
Yeah, she's created a monster for sure.
Pretty much.
So, yeah, so that was that comment. And then, so Paula Gardner commented, hey John, check out on YouTube Chinese Zuzu Embroidery.
Okay.
So, just a YouTuber to watch.
Yes.
She also...
The embroidery's kind of on hold right now. Not because... I'll probably take it to Atlanta with me, because now that I won't lose my needles on the planks, I've got a pin cushion and... those little needle minders. So I might pick that back up. But I haven't done any embroidery in a while. But
Paula Gardner also mentioned mulberry trees, like as a podcaster who had the mulberry trees in her backyard, and it would create all those flies and everything because the fruit would fall on the ground. Is this ringing a bell from the previous podcast? Anyway, she said mulberry trees have a really tasty fruit, and the leaves are what they feed silkworms.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, it's not that you make gin out of it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right.
That's right. So, and then, we've got a few here. Okay, Flower Child.
Like Flower Child.
Right. I just, as I was looking at it, because I've seen Flower Child comment on our videos several times, but I'm always like, Fleur Clyde? So, Flower Child said that we should consider going to Edinburgh Yarn Festival.
Okay, so I was watching on Instagram all about it, and it looks sickening.
I know.
I would like to go.
All right. Tiffany Foppy. She's the one that's also doing a doodler.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I get to show that off. Well,
when we get to works in progress, yeah. And ShiHan Dai's yarn. Cool. So we'll be circling back with her. And I agree, they should be passing out cocktails instead of beads. I'm a big proponent of that approach. Wouldn't that be good? Because everybody would be like buying tons of yarn because they'd all be drunk.
Yeah, but then you're encouraged to drive.
Oh, right. There's that. All right. And then Susan Marston, whose name sounds super familiar to me. And maybe it's from just reading comments. That name, and it's probably like super embarrassing, like we worked together or something like that. I'm just not remembering the name, but she talked about her experience with the podcast or with the shop hop. Mm-hmm. So she lives in the area, or at least came to the shop hop and did the shop hop, and she was very encouraging of our willingness to try new things and talk about them. So
cool.
That was very nice of her. How did we meet and get together? That was a question that Diving Anyone Divigne, I think I said, or Divine. He or she, I assume it's
diving anyone.
Diving anyone.
Is that actually how it's supposed to be said?
Yeah, she's down here. She says diving anyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, Divigne. Divine. Yeah. So anyway, how did we meet and get together? That was a question she had.
Mm-hmm. How did we meet and get together?
Why don't you tell the story since I talk so much?
Oh my gosh. So we both sing in the Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus, and I've been a member for 13 years. And then, so I joined in 2005. You joined around in 2008?
Yes.
And we met through the chorus, and I think we started dating. We became friends pretty quickly, and then we started dating in about 2000.
Through our friend Steve Dahl, ironically.
Yes.
Who was not a fan of us dating because John got elected, because we were friends, but John got elected president of the chorus, and I got elected vice president of the chorus. And Steve was like, no, you cannot, that's going to cause too much drama, and it's going to be too much time spent together, and it's too stressful, and...
It all worked out.
He ended up officiating our wedding.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how we met.
Long and short of it.
Yeah. So we had a lot of friends in common, and yeah. So, and then, let's see here. Selena, and then doesn't that mean something? CYR. I feel like that's a word that means something. Like in Gaelic or something. This is super embarrassing. It's like it means something.
Yes.
It's like pronounced like
Kier.
Sir.
So her question is, why don't we do a live podcast? And this is why.
This is why. Why don't we do a live podcast? I've seen the grocery girls doing live podcasts recently, and
I think I would be just stressed out the whole time because I know that we couldn't go out and cut stuff out and have breaks.
Well, you can. You don't have to post it. I mean, okay, so I actually haven't...
That doesn't sound live, that just sounds taped in one take.
Well, so the point of it is because then you see people comment live, and you read their comments, and then you respond verbally. So rather than doing what we're doing, where we're reading the comments, it would be real time.
We should have Betty Ann. The Atlanta thing should be live with Betty Ann.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Especially because it's like, we didn't tell her, and all of a sudden she's
she's live on the internet. Okay, we just need to we need to take her out for margaritas, and then she'd totally do it.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm talking about it because she'll watch this, and then it's a secret.
Right.
Okay. Julie Weisler. This is again why we don't do live podcasts. Said that, I liked this. 2 thoughts. The yellow yarn could be used in a citrus combination. So like yellow and orange and green.
Oh, that'd be fun.
You know, the neonish green. Mm-hmm. And then making stitch marks. She mentioned stitch marks.
Or like a blood orange.
Like a red and a yellow?
No, blood orange.
I don't know what you mean by
that. I'm just making red complicated color.
Yes, it's not red, it's blood orange. Yes. So a person that commented whose last name is Linus, son of Linus. I assume I shouldn't assume, but I'm thinking they might be from a Scandinavian country.
In Swedish, yeah.
I don't agree with the junior show concept. I demand the Linus show.
Well, if Linus would ever stop sleeping.
He's too lazy to do anything. Oh, and then he asks, or she asks, have you seen the pattern for the Linus shawl?
Is it big, white, and fluffy?
We can make it big, white, and fluffy. So
we could do it with a real,
in Swedish. I see. No. Sorry, I missed that.
So we could do it with like a white thing with like mohair. Okay.
Yes, and so speaking of Swedish, Linus and we have a large Swedish and Norwegian and actually German heritage people from those countries that's the heritage of the people that live in Minnesota. And I've always heard that when you have a name like Linus, if it's O-N, it means it's Swedish, and if it's E-N, it means it's Norwegian. But I don't know if that's true. So, anyway.
That's like Olsen and Olsen.
Yes. O-N is Swedish and E-N is Norwegian. But I don't know if that's
so wait, which was Nellie Olsen from Little House on the Prairie? Was she an O or an E? I think she's an O.
Where were they from?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just wondering.
Baba Yaya, our friend Wendy, who I hope to meet sometime. Or maybe next time we're in Chicago, we'll have to buy her coffee or something. She wants to see Stephen B. Stephen B's shop. We discovered that. So we've gone to the men's knit night a couple times. We've had a lot of fun, but it seems to somehow always conflict.
Well, I think part of it is, for me, Tuesday night is chorus, and so after that I kind of need a night off. Is kind of part of it. And then,
but we discovered that they have a nerd knit night, and it's every week.
Right.
So it might be a little more possible for us to get to that. So I will see if I can get some footage on the inside of the shop. I have hesitated to do that because I just feel weird about it, but I'm sure he would totally be fine with it. So I don't know why I'm being weird about it.
You should his mom. Because
his mom is amazing.
I know.
She's been in a lot of pictures and stuff lately because of Mother's Day.
Okay.
So, and then Os, one of my favorite commenters, wrote us this amazing long
Wait, we decided that's actually not OSOS.
It's not operating system, no. But, I'm sorry, there was something specific in here. And I printed it out, but there's a long post in here that we, several links and stuff to look at in here, so we need to go back and look into that. Okay. So thank you so much for the time you put into that post. And then, Pamela Marriott called me out on my issue with purling. She's like, I don't understand why you think purling is such a big deal. And I have to admit, purling is not a big deal. And I think sometimes I hear other people talk about purling, and they talk about what a pain it is. And granted, purling is not that big a deal.
But I think it's that everyone learns to knit first.
Yeah.
And so that's just the stitch you're most comfortable with.
Yeah. And I think that's true. And I think I found that I do a lot of, since I've been doing so many socks, or anytime you do rib, you're doing knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, or knit, knit, purl, purl, whatever. And you get more comfortable with purling that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, her point was, it's just a swatch. And then, this was in response to the swatching with the
tutorial
thing, yeah. So, and then Betty Ann was on Pamela's side instead of being on my side. I'm like, thanks a lot, Mom. Whatever. Then there were people that talked about Entre Lock. Was it you who knew what that was?
Yes, that's the one. So, it's this weird pattern where you basically knit a series of like triangles and squares, and you just have these really it's like color blocking. It'll be cool.
I think that what's the guy who did the Doodler that you're knitting? Stephen West.
Oh, I'm sure he's done an Entre Lock stuff.
Yeah, he did. I forget what it's called, but I think he but within the last couple of years released an Entre Lock.
Yeah. Where
it's all these different shapes that all kind of come together.
Yeah.
So. All right, so I didn't get a chance to respond to every single comment, but that's because we are blessed with having tons of people that comment on our videos. So I really appreciate that. Keep the comments coming, and we'll try to respond to all of them. So Thanks, everybody. All right, so
end.
Okay, those of you that were fast forwarding, you can stop fast forwarding. So now we're going to talk about works in progress and finished objects. So why don't we do...
I only have whips.
You only have whips. Okay, why don't we do our cowls last, because then it'll feed into the cowl thing. But I have a finished object. I finished my Moana Socks.
Yay!
They are Very comfortable. The yarn is awesome. It's, oh no, Kate Celine. I almost forgot. Kate Celine. This was a Moana inspired sock, and then the toes are left over from the yarn. Is it Yarn Cafe Creations? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's their pumpkin colorway. I had some left over from some yarn. Actually, this is the first yarn that
you've done toes with that before, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So my mom gave me this yarn when I was knitting my very first pair of socks, because it was two colors. It's like a blue, light blue with different colored speckles in it, including orange, and then this is what went with it.
I think that looks so cool. I love that yarn. So pretty.
So a couple things about this that I learned is I like the way that the heels look. This is an afterthought heel, and the way that it looks in the same yarn, it's kind of just, I don't know, I can't hold it up right. The way it just kind of, it's not really self-striping. It's like, I think some people said it's like
pooling, right?
No, it's not pooling. It's like barber pole or, yeah. So anyway, I like the way that the heels with the same yarn look in that. And then I just did, I think I did 18 inches of a tube. It was they're top down. And then I put the toes in. These are square toes. I need to memorize the rounded toe because I like that fit better. And then one of them, I didn't measure the distance correctly to where I needed to put the afterthought heel. It wasn't where I thought it was. So I figured out how to do that. And so one of them's the foot's a little long, but it's certainly fine. So. So that's my finished Moana socks.
Fun. They're very pretty.
Yeah. So now I've already cast on. Well, no, I haven't cast on yet. I'll get back to that. All right. So why don't you show us a work in progress?
Okay, I'll do my sock, which is not even a hip. Wait, what's a half finished work in project?
What do you think HIP stands for? Oh, like hip?
Half in progress? I don't know.
It's a hoe. It's a half object.
Oh, that's much better. All right, so
but it's not a hoe.
No, I said it's
not.
Oh,
it's not even a hip. Okay, I think we're gonna do hip from now on. It's a half in progress.
Half in progress. This is actually half a hoe.
This is a quip. This is a quarter in progress.
So this is my first sock. It is just at this point 2x2 rib, 6x2 rib. The yarn is called Parcel Tongue. It's Sensible Sock.
Who's it by?
Sensible Sock by Savvy Skeins. So far so good. This has been kind of the...
Oh, and this is kind of Grello, although it's got navy blue and black in it.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely, in terms of my projects, it's not quite at the same level as my... cable scarf, which has sat without work for months now, but this is kind of gone to the side. I've been knitting on other stuff on the bus, so far so good. I mean, Scott says that knitting socks is amazing. It's okay.
So we're talking about this. I think that knitting socks is most enjoyed by process knitters.
Yeah,
people who enjoy the process of knitting.
Like I want it to be done.
And John's feet are 4 sizes bigger than mine, so he's got a while to go.
This is not even. This is like a quarter of the way done. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna have to do like minimum of 16 inches.
Right after the rib. This is like. 5.
No, you can do the whole. I mean, you can consider the whole.
So this is like 6 inches right here.
Okay.
Well, because that's about the size of a $1 bill, which is 6 inches. So. This is a third done.
If that makes 18. You feel, if that's what you need to tell yourself.
No, it's about somewhere between.
Yeah, it's about a third done.
Right. So I don't know. I think we'll see. I mean, I think I'll like it better when I have it done.
It's definitely TV knitting or.
Well, and like.
I mean, you don't like audiobooks, but it's.
I just like it. All right, this is gonna sound really whiny.
Uh-oh.
But I think one of the reasons I like the other two projects I'm working on more is that they, like, every row is a little different, and so, like, does that make sense? And this is just, you know, you do it and you look at it, I'm like, well, I've got more sock.
Well, one thing I'll tell you is that, and we talked about this at the beginning, is doing a 6x2 rib is going to make it way slower.
I know, and
I know you like the way it snug, but if you were to do just knitting, you'd go brrrr.
What if I
go
all
much
right,
faster.
okay. What if I decided to stop doing the rib now?
You could. That's not going to hurt anything.
And so that will keep it all tight, and then
you could do the same amount of a 6x2 rib at the top of the next sock.
So I like the 6x2 rib. It's just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I
just have
it does. I mean, now that I found the right size for my foot and everything, I don't need these stay up without the rib. 6x2 rib because I've gotten the right size of stitches, or you know what I mean. Because these are they look baggy on this form, but I mean on my leg they're fine. They stay up and they're comfortable.
Okay.
They don't. I mean, because those first socks that I knit you were way too big.
But
they were like 8 stitches too big.
But they're super comfortable. I'm sorry. I just need to.
I think you. I give it a try of switching just to knitting. You'll find it's like, oh, I just did this much, and I just did this much in an episode of a TV show, and I didn't even realize it. Especially when you get to the point where you're not looking at it, because I finally gotten to that point. And you're just sitting there. To me, it's soothing.
Okay.
Especially because like there's those times when you're like, I just want to knit, but I don't want to think about it. I don't want to. I don't want to pick something up. I don't want to look at a pattern. I don't want to look at a chart. I just want to knit, and that's what socks are great for.
Yeah.
Because I don't even remember knitting these socks. I mean, I remember the process of putting the toe in and do it, but I mean, it's not like, oh my god, this was murderous, and I, spent years of my... No, I don't even remember knitting these.
Right.
Because we were watching TV or I was in the car or whatever. Yeah. So... I'm trying to sell John on sock knitting.
I'm not convinced yet.
And not everybody is. Not everybody likes sock knitting, I don't think.
But I'm doing the 9-inch circulars, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That was a real downer of a segment. You should bring things back up.
I'm gonna put sparkles and rainbows on it.
Oh, I can do something really quick for fun though.
Okay.
It's neither a whip or hoe or a hip.
A hip.
A hip. So
or a quip.
So I don't know if you remember, like last time we talked, I had bought that pattern for that scarf, that thing. So I had to buy a Rowan Knitting catalog.
Okay. Everybody needs to buy an issue of Rowan just to have it.
I mean, crap. I mean,
to have it.
Just to have it. It's like yarn pornography.
It really is.
It's more so because we also got a Vogue Knitting too for what you bought for another pattern that is way down the queue, and I mean, just
it makes you want to knit
everything.
It makes you want to knit right now. It makes you stop what you're doing right now. And
right. I'm trying. And I'm like, oh, I want to knit this for myself. It's a lady sweater, but I'm sure I can make it work.
I wonder if you can do. I wonder if you can do that. Like, I'd be curious if people like. I've not really heard that as a topic. Like, can you take a woman's sweater as long as it's a pattern that you like, or not a pattern, but like a texture or a fabric that you like? Could you like just take out the waist shaping?
Do women's sweaters have waist shaping on them? I have no idea.
Women's sweaters often have waist shaping through short rows or things like that, so that they go in.
Oh, so you could make it. So it's not, because I see a lot of patterns on Ravelry where they're unisex.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so,
and maybe that one.
And this is just me. Like, I feel like I mean, look at this. I want to knit this right now. Like right now.
Yeah, and that one, if there's no waist shaping in that...
Right, but I mean, could you...
Well, let's look at
all
that.
All right, okay.
Pause for a minute.
People.
Yes, people.
People, we need to know this.
Don't point at them.
I was just...
You're doing the Darth Vader power.
Shh, that's the Emperor.
Yeah, you tell the people, and I'll look at this for a second.
People. So, can you take... So, okay. What makes a men's sweater aside from the measurements? Right, obviously, it might be like a larger shoulder width or something like that. But, I mean, I just feel like, I know that, like, this is probably just the gender imbalance correcting itself in the world. But I feel like the sweaters out there, I mean, there are a lot of nice men's sweaters out there, but I feel like half the time I look at stuff and it's a women's sweater. So what does that mean? Can I do it?
Oh, then there's the bust size you have to worry about. But maybe that's just with men, that's just the chest size. Because I don't see anything about waist shaping in this sweater.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, obviously, like, hats can be... It's that whole, like, I don't mind things that have, like, a little more...
Keep going.
Like, there's this idea of, like, feminine and masculine styles, and, like, I don't care about that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And that's not stupid, but, like, that doesn't bother me. Like, I would wear a hot...
It's not something that you're going to... It's not... You don't play into those...
Right. I'm like, if it's got flowers on it, awesome. That's cool. I just don't want it to look all weird and lumpy on me.
Right.
Or if I can only... Like... Yeah, or... Right, or... I mean, because I know that they have, like, women's t-shirts, right? Which are cut a little differently.
And I think that's what it usually comes down to, although this pattern is very simple.
Right.
So I'm thinking that there's...
Oh my God, look at that. All right.
That's a shawl.
I know.
Okay, we need to... People can't see what we're looking at, so we should...
So anyway, Rowan Knits.
Oh, but
and
show
I'm
them...
not... So, I mean, and this model's really cute, too.
Show them why you bought the pattern you bought it for.
I think it is... No. There it is. So this is the pattern that I bought it for, which is this...
just step back a little bit to get them a little more... No, I mean... Oh, did you see that?
What happened?
My ice popped and it shot ice out of my glass. Sorry.
That's weird. So anyway, this is the pattern that I'm going to knit with it. It's this really cool color work with two different patterns. Two different types of color work sort of complement each other. Someone who did this, I was looking on Instagram, someone who did this as did it steeked? So they could do it in the round, so you have to, like, cut it and seam it. And I'm not going to do that because that seems real hard.
Yeah, I'm not going to do my first sweater steeked.
No. I mean, to me, the whole appeal of a cardigan right now is not knitted in the round because then I can do the pieces and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it won't... Anyway, so Rowan Knits, yay! Yarn pornography.
Yes.
And gender...
And gender questions.
Questions.
If anybody has any advice on that or YouTube videos or whatever.
I mean, like, look at that. That red sweater. I love it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay,
so
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you have any other...
What is that?
Oh, this is the thing that came stuffed in there from where you bought it.
From where I bought it from.
Do you have any other...
I have my...
Have you shown a work? Oh, yeah, you just showed your sock. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm going to show my work.
Look at this.
We're going to spend the whole episode with John looking through Rowan Knits. I'm going to have to put a thing in there for people to jump so that they don't have to watch you do that. All right, so my next work in progress is a thing that I showed it's a project that I showed a long time ago, but it's been languishing. So this is a sock, obviously, and the pattern is the what's it called? Pixel Rise by Kemper Ray. And it was a Junkyard Designs.
Look at this.
Oh my god.
That is so cool.
Yes, honey. It is. Very good. See, that's got a woman's wear. Oh, well, see, you'd have to make it... Okay, so
yeah,
we can't do this the whole episode.
Yeah.
So, this is a sock. It's going to be a gift for a friend. And the Pixel Rise, it's in between each color change is this little, I don't know, it's like a 6-row chart where you've got these little this pixel blend from one color to the next. And so what I did was I started with the toe and did red. I did a Turkish cast on, which I'd never done before, which was fun. And I did red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, the colors of the rainbow. Then purple and green, I'm kind of going backwards. And then right now I'm doing the rib that's going to be the top of the sock. And then I'm going to put an afterthought heel in red to kind of match the toe. So I'm almost done with this tube part, and then luckily the person who's getting the gift, their foot is about the same size as mine. So they're going to get this as a gift. And so the only thing I'm worried about is there's a little bit of cinching where the color work is, because I am really struggling with things being tight where I do color work. I have not figured that out yet. If anybody has any pointers, please let me know. I know you're supposed to have a looser gauge. Oh, I think somebody talked about maybe going up a needle size. I might do that next time. I forgot about that. Maybe I'll try it on the second sock. But the other thing that I did was I started off with magic loop, because I think that's what that's what it calls for. And when I got up here, I got up to about here and then put the project down, and so then I picked it back up after I finished the Moana Socks, and immediately put it on my 9-inch circulars, and then used a stitch marker for where the beginning of round is, so I could do the chart, the pixel rise chart. So yeah. So I'm almost done with the first sock, and then I'll do the second sock, and it's a lot of fun. The yarn, oh gosh, do I have any yarn tags in here? It's, okay, let me think through this. The yarn is, John, can you help me for a second?
I'm sorry, I was deep into Rowan.
The people who we saw their opening at Stephen B., that Minnesota
Blue Sky Fiber Arts.
Blue Sky Fiber Arts. Thank you, John. And it's the
back in it.
Blue Sky Fiber Arts, and they have
Spud and Chloe.
Spud and Chloe. Who are you?
I know names.
You know names. Spud and Chloe is their sub brand, I guess it is, or their line of yarn, and it's I don't remember what the blend is. I want to say it's silk and merino, but I got all the different colors of the rainbow, obviously. You can't see it because I'm off camera, but all the different colors of the rainbow. And yeah, so that's a sock that I'm doing, because I have decided that I don't remember if it was Dan from the Bakery Bears or Kay from the Bakery Bears or somebody from the Grocery Girls, but I said I will always have socks on the needles that I'm working on. So John, not so much. All right. Do you have another work in progress? Okay.
I do. This is my shawl I'm working on. It's a Doodler Shawl. This isn't a project bag, but it's a bag that a project came in. So it can
be a project bag.
Yeah, it's my magic unicorn, Sincerely Louise magic mythical unicorn friend, which I knit a while ago. But it's a really nice big bag, so it's actually good for this. So I am knitting a Doodler Shawl, which is a Stephen West shawl. And so it's just got all kinds of business coming out. So I'm going to show you the colors I'm using. So this is one of them. This is the Carolina Fiber Ghouls from, oh, you can't see that. This is from Copper Corgi. Really pretty.
I'll hold it.
Yeah. The other one is Quidditch Pitch from Knitted Wit, yeah. And then the third one, which I've not started yet, is called...
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's Sweet Artemisia. Artemisia? I'm assuming it's about the mathematician.
Got me.
She's a mathematician in Alexandria. I'm assuming. Because it's a victory sock, so I think this series is about kind of like feminist icons, women in history. So, if I'm wrong, I'm just gonna make an assumption. So anyway,
that's quite the assumption.
Hey, I bet it's right.
I bet you're right.
Or not.
Well, that's also Knitted Wit.
That's also Knitted Wit. So these are the...
Wait, is Knitted Wit the one that we, like, freaked out?
Yeah, it's my new obsession. So anyway, it's called the Doodler Shawl. It's by Stephen West.
Well, hang on. I'm sorry, John. This is,
It's all sock yarn.
Oh, Victory Sock. Okay, sorry. You said all that.
Yeah, this is it's all sock yarn. This is superwash merino. This is not... I forget. So anyway... So this is the first bit. It's called the Doodler Shawl. And that's not fringe. That's just...
ends to be
That's just ends to be woven in. And it's basically a series of sort of short row wedges using the Quidditch pitch and those lines where you see the holes. And you can see those.
If you lean it, pull it back towards you.
Okay.
There you go. See?
Oh, you can see the holes a little better. So, and then with the rows between each wedge, basically, you have a row of the Carolina fiber gouls with these holes. So anyway, I really love doing this. I think it's just friggin' amazing. The one thing I didn't think about is I've seen other people do this shawl, and the colors they picked for this section were a little more contrasting. So you could really see the line really well. You can see the lines, can't you? Sort of. It's a little more subtle. Subtle. But it's just funny because I looked at these two yarns.
When they were skeined, they looked very different.
Well, and they still look really different. I think they just have enough closeness to them that... Yeah. But anyway, so this is
Still super cool.
It's super cool, and I love it. And so what it does is you do this. There are 17 wedges of this. I'm on wedge 14? Yes, I'm on wedge 14 of 17. They get bigger. So
I thought you were saying something about they get smaller. And I got confused when you were talking about that. Okay.
No, the short rows get... So basically you do... It's a series of short rows, and so your first row is all the way across.
Do the short rows create the holes?
Yes. And then you... So the first row is you do all the way across, and then you turn 5 rows to the end for the next row. So what happens is the first 2 rows take... The first set of rows, and I think I'm on... This has 18 repeats per wedge at this point. So the first couple of rows take forever, but then just to getting really sick of it, they start getting really short and goes really quickly. So I love this. And then what the next step, which hopefully I'll be able to get to, is you take this yarn and you do a cable, an enormous cable thing that's twists and stuff like that.
Is that going to be in this color?
No, that's in this color.
Oh, okay.
So
maybe that'll pull it out a little bit.
Yeah, I think it will. I'm thinking it's going to be... I mean, in any case, it's going to all come together. And then there is a... then you knit a whole border along that bottom in the green. So anyway, this makes me real happy. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit... So... I actually took this. I was knitting outside today by the lake, and so I took this with me. But it's not a very portable project because it's so big and so complicated.
Yeah, that's why you gotta knit socks.
That's
why socks are awesome.
That's why hats are awesome. So anyway, loving it. I'm hoping that by our next podcast, I will be on the cable section. So. It's really fun. I now understand people do Stephen West knits because they are so... And maybe all, but I feel like this one is just... I'm learning a lot. It just keeps... It's unlike the sock. Every time I do something, it's it's so cool looking. You know what I mean? Every wedge gets...
I feel that way about my socks.
Really?
Just saying.
It's so pretty. But, okay, let me put it this way. So I'm doing this, and I'm on, wedge number 14 of 17, and I'm, getting excited about doing the cable section. And with a sock, it's like you do it and you get excited for more sock.
You're not gonna like dissuade me from knitting socks. That's not gonna happen. I love it.
So I would knit shorts. I'm deciding I'm gonna start knitting ankle socks because then you do like the rib.
Those are fun because
you do the rib and then you turn the heel and you do the foot and you're done.
The Rose City Rollers, you don't even do a rib. You do the ankle, which curls down. Then you do the heel flap. Then you do the heel turn. Then you do the gusset. I mean, it's like an action adventure movie. There's always something. It's maybe with the Rose City Rollers. The other thing too is that you might like. Other heels and toes,
right?
Because then you do, or maybe patterned socks,
right?
Socks with a cable on it,
or like an Argyle sock or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just this.
Anyway,
Anyway,
it's okay.
I'm sorry, sock people.
It's okay. You'll
be
blacklisted from sock people. Okay, so should we? Is that all your works in progress?
That's not a cowl.
Okay, so I've got one more. So I decided that I started a sweater a while back and I'm just not excited about it anymore. It's with yarn that I'm not particularly fond of,
but it looks cool.
Yeah, and I might go back to it.
That's the top down one. It's the one from Rib.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I like the pattern. I was very new to knitting, and I think the big thing is I put this Argyle colorwork pattern in the front, and I really liked it. But the way I wove in the ends, it's really easy to see the ends, and I don't know. It's just, I've learned so much since I started that project.
I've got a sweater like that I started. It's the blue sweater, and I think I'm actually going to just frog it out and restart it because I like the pattern a lot, but I was...
Oh, that's the other thing is I never stopped the raglan when I did the raglan decreases for the shoulders.
Oh, that's right. So you're thinking of the knit evenly thing?
Yeah, there's a term in the pattern called work evenly, and that just means don't do decreases anymore. And I did the raglan, is it increases or decreases? Increases. The raglan increases, I did it all the way down instead of stopping where you're supposed to stop.
So it sounds like a tunic.
I've learned a lot since starting that pattern. So I decided to do a different one, and I decided this time I was going to do something that was a sweater vest instead of a sweater, which I think in England they call sweater vests tank tops.
Yes, I think.
That's
just
weird
makes no
because
sense.
to us a tank top is like a sweaty, strapped cotton thing that you wear, but whatever. So I decided for some reason to pick the world's most complicated.
No, because we both liked it.
I know. I'm joking. It's a joke, John. You're supposed to laugh at my jokes. You're legally obligated to laugh at my jokes per our wedding contract. And so I decided to pick the world's most difficult pattern. It's a 19-page pattern. But all kidding aside, I don't think it's gonna be that difficult. It's a Brooklyn tweed pattern. It's Hunter. And it's by, what's his name?
Jared Flood.
Jared Flood. And I kind of went through that fast, but it's a beautiful sweater vest. You can't see because I printed this out on my printer, but it's got a pattern, really cool. Well, it's actually got a couple patterns on it. Mm-hmm. It's got some cables and stuff. And it's a bottom up. And so I did a couple swatches and got my gauge. Being attacked from behind by Linus.
No, Linus show might be starting.
Yeah, Linus show might be starting. He's like, I want some attention. So the yarn is Bare Naked Wools, which we bought in Ohio at their boutique, and it's a natural color. And so this is where I'm at. I'm not very far, but that's okay. But it's.
This is the tubular cast-on one,
yeah,
right?
so I did a tubular cast-on, or it calls for a tubular cast-on, and so I did that. It looks kind of small now because it's scrunched up on these needles, but this is the bottom, and so it's got the yarn here for the provisional cast-on, part of the tubular cast-on, and that they recommended that you keep it in there until you've washed it and blocked it because it'll help keep the... Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just bring it back.
So, as we were,
sorry, Linus.
This is the bottom, and I'm working my way up. I mean, it's going to take quite some time. But the swatch I did, I don't know if this is going to show up, but I did the pattern. I did the pattern that's at the bottom. That's how you do the swatch. Oh yeah, that's showing up. So this is the pattern that's going to be like from the chest to the bottom, from the bottom from like here to here is this pattern, which is pretty cool. So yeah. So that is my big work in progress.
Is that a 1x1 rib?
Yes.
Cool.
It's a 1x1 rib. So that's my other work in progress.
So about the tubular cast on or not? Well,
I don't really.
Okay, you just learned how to do tubular cast on. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's so many different ways to do it, and I think based on what your rib is makes a difference.
Yep.
Whether it's a 1x1 or a 2x1 or 2x1?
2x2.
2x2. But I did a provisional cast on, and then I knit half the stitches that I needed, and then I did an increase somehow. You could tell that I was following the pattern very closely and not learning it. But basically what you do is once you do that, then you do a row. Once you do your cast on, half the stitches. Then you do a row of increases to get to the total number of stitches. Then you do a row where you're slipping and you knit and then slip every other stitch, and then you go back the other way and purl and slip every other stitch. And then you just start from there. So, yeah. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to turn out nice, and it's going to be a long-term project. 19 pages!
Well, the nice thing is that it is May, and it might be done by the fall.
Right. Let's hope. All right. So now it's time to talk about hashtag CalCal. Hashtag sweet tea note.
Hashtag sweet tea CalCal.
Okay, so having said that, we have prizes to announce.
We do.
So we finished ours, and we're going to show our finished cows. We did it this time. Our first knit along.
Right.
You did the mitts, and you finished, but I only finished one colorwork mitt.
No, I did not finish last time.
Neither of us finished.
Neither finished. I actually eventually finished my mittens. So,
I never finished mine.
And I more than finished. I finished, and I'm doing a second one.
Yes, he finished one, and he's almost finished with the second one.
So you've already seen that the first one was like 2 podcasts ago.
Oh, so you're not going to show it?
I don't have it.
Oh, that's right. It was a gift.
Right, Charles has it.
I forgot about that. It was a gift.
So.
All right, well, I'm going to show my finished object, and then we'll show... You have the other one, right?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so I did the... Valiner cowl, and at least 2 or 3 other people did the same cowl, which was very fun. And so this is mine. I'll put it on in a minute, but you basically start with a rib turtleneck thing, and then you do... This was my first cable project, and then you do cables and stuff, and it ends down here, and so then when you'll see when I put it on, but lessons learned from this project. First of all, dye lots matter. So I don't know if you can see, but it looks like the bottom of my cowl is wet.
Oh yeah.
And it's not. It's just a different dye lot. I think this is Malabrigo. Saresa. And love the yarn. It's my fault. I was like, oh, that's okay. I'll just fade it in or whatever. It's very different. And I didn't catch it in time, and I wasn't going to tint back and all of that. I just was like, you know what? The bottom's going to be a little darker. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's not like a sweater where it would be weird looking or whatever. So it fits awesome. And put this down like this.
It's super cool.
It's very warm. I love, love, love the color.
See, I know you... If you pretend that's intentional, it looks cool.
Oh, with the darker?
Yeah. It's like a little extra layer of something.
I wish it were winter.
I know.
Because
no, you don't.
it's well, no, I don't. What am I saying? It's very warm, and you can bring it up like this
For skiing.
For skiing. I mean, the main thing is I plan to wear it for skiing.
Or if you're gonna do an old timey bank robbery.
Or an old timey cabled bank robbery.
They're like,
we don't
know who it is, but they're wearing an exquisitely knitted cabled cowl.
The thing.
Is it soft? Oh, it's nice. Yeah.
I want to knit like a turtleneck top sweater. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be cool if this was a sweater. Yeah. I know there's a hat that goes along with it, but I don't think there's I don't know. I have to look. Elena Nodell.
Yeah.
Valiner Cal. And there are a couple other folks who did the same one. So, I love it.
It's really cool. I was really, really... It was just fun to watch you do it because you'd never done cables and...
I wanted to... I mean, when I
and like, those aren't easy cables. Like, it's not like you're doing the simple twist cables. They grow into each other. The chart is really complicated. So, I'm very...
Yeah, there were purl cables and knit cables. And then there... Oh, you know what I just realized? I don't think I did this right.
What? It looks fine.
I don't think I did this right. So see how these come down like here? Mm-hmm. Where the cable stops right there and goes straight. I think I was supposed to keep cabling.
Oh. I like... Oh,
maybe but I not. Kind of... No, I think I'm wearing it wrong.
No, yeah. These are the...
The cable's supposed to go in the middle.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all.
There we go. That's how I'm supposed to wear with the cable going down the middle here. But I still think I was supposed to keep cabling.
I think you are too. But I like it. I think that's
it doesn't matter. It's just... Oops. The way I read the chart wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
But
so it would be, instead of like having these little straight lines here, you'd have the cable.
The cables.
But see, I kind of... Alright. Here, look. I kind of like, because this cable right here goes and stops, and then this cable starts. So it's kind of like a mirror.
Yeah.
They reflect one another. I like it.
It's an attractive look for me.
It is. It makes your neck look real long.
Find your light, make your neck look long. So, okay, this is burning up, but I'm going to wear it while we announce our prizes.
Well, can I show mine?
Oh, I suppose. Why don't you show yours?
So mine's not done. However...
Oh, but go ahead. I was going to steal your thunder. Keep going.
Well, I mean, I've shown it before.
No, well, that's not... I'll keep going.
Okay. So I'm doing... It is called the Tesserino Cowl by Mari Chiba.
I have a friend whose last name is Tassanari, so I keep wanting to call it the Tassanari
And so it is... I showed it last time. But what's fun about this is... I'm
going to hold it.
Yeah.
So you can talk about it.
I had done my other cowl, and I can't remember, Alcibiades or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing some of those already wrong. Had mentioned doing this cowl, and I had been sort of minorly obsessed with finding a mosaic knitting pattern, and so I just started doing this, and I love this pattern. It's so much fun. I like how the the two. It's trampled underfoot, and
which is a copper corgi.
Corgi. So these are both copper corgi sock yarn. No, sport weight yarn. Trampled underfoot and out on the tiles.
That's what you had to modify the pattern for the sport weight.
So yeah, and the pattern was written for worsted weight, which is thicker. So. Like the original pattern is cast on 100 stitches, and based on my swatch, I cast on 160, and the original pattern is 8 repeats of the pattern, and I think I'm going to go, now that I don't have to worry about getting in time for the finish the cowl, I think I'm going to go ahead and just do 12, because right? Oh,
how many have you done?
This is 7.
Yeah, I mean, nobody ever... Well, maybe they did, but I don't think anybody ever said, oh, there's too much cowl here. Because you can, like, tuck it in and it'll scrunch up and keep your neck warm. So. Alright, so we've got dead air here. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, that's all. I like it. Mosaic knitting is super fun. This is my bus knitting right now.
I can't wait to knit that. I'm knitting that for sure.
Well, and the fun thing about it is, like, you know, talking about, like, what's been so cool about this cowl is, number one, watching kind of other people be like, oh, I can do that too, and sort of this sort of community around doing the same sort of stuff, and then seeing what other people's choices and colors were and stuff like that, and how they look different and how they don't, and all that stuff. So, very happy with this. I was telling Scott that we need to have a reunion of the cowl when everyone can wear their cowls in an appropriate temperature.
Right.
Because, like, right now it is May the 6th and nobody's wearing a cowl in the Northern Hemisphere.
I was going to say, at least not in the Northern Hemisphere.
So if we wanted to go down to South America...
So in South America, or in the Southern Hemisphere, it'd be like...
October or November.
Yeah, it'd be like November, so
yeah.
It's probably cold for them.
Right.
Where they are.
So if you are actually in the Southern Hemisphere and doing this cowl, good timing. So anyway, very happy.
All right, so can we talk about prices?
Should we talk about, like, I don't know, anything? Do you want to talk about prices or talk about, like, stuff we like?
Let's talk about prices, and then we'll get to that.
Okay.
So we had a whole bunch of prizes.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm going to keep touching the cowl. Whole bunch of prizes. And so this whole knit-along came about because of Jessie from Dye Monkey Yarns, which is her business and her Etsy store and her website. Mm-hmm. And then from the Knit Up and Dye podcast. And she reached out and donated some patterns. And then as the process got going, Jennifer and John Michael reached out from the Color and Life podcast, and Genuine is Jen on Ravelry. And she donated some, because she actually has 4 cowl patterns of her own. Mm-hmm. And then we also had gotten the mug from the Fuzzy Goat during that time period. So,
we have like 12 prizes.
We have 8, but 8. Close. Yes. So, Jessie from Dye Monkey Yarns, so we have 3 winners. Each of these winners get to pick from any of Jessie's patterns that she sells.
I thought it was like specific patterns. It's like
that's this one.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry, I'm getting confused.
You're really messing things.
That's awesome.
Messing up the flow. No, I'm just kidding. It's awesome. It's very awesome. So
it's like any pattern.
Any of her patterns that she's published, designed and published. So
cool.
So what we'll do is I'm going to reach out to these people, and I'm also going to let Jessie know that you'll be contacting her, and we'll go from there. So the first group was random number generated prizes from the Ravelry finished objects. Mm-hmm. And the first winner was submission number 12, and that's Gaelzo, or is it Jaelzo?
Yeah, it's a J.
From West Newton, Pennsylvania. I thought I wrote her name down.
Did you write it somewhere?
I didn't write any of these people's name down. Oh my gosh. Oh well, that's her username on Ravelry. Sorry about that. West Newton, Pennsylvania, and I'll probably put her in information at the bottom. She did the Apiarian cowl by Perennial Knits,
which I think is awesome. I want to knit it right now.
Yeah. So we'll put the pictures.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Oh yeah, that one was.
So the slip stitches up and sort of the those flower patterns.
Yeah,
I love that one.
So congratulations. Go ahead and reach out to Jessie, and I'll reach out to Jessie as well. The next one was number 8, and Lucy from Spokane, Washington. Stitch Nerd Designs Why Wait cowl by Susan Ashcroft.
Wait, I want to see what it looks like. Oh, it's this one. Sorry. So you'll be seeing a pattern, but I just want to. It's like a big, chunky thing with. Oh, I love it. It's reversible, right?
The third winner is number 44, Rodegonde. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but he is from Montreal in Canada. And he did the Metropolitan hat and cowl.
Yes.
And from Rib Magazine. And I really liked his color choice. It was actually similar to this.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me a little sad to see it, though, because that was the first hat I ever knit. And I knit it on our honeymoon while we were on our cruise in South America. And I have lost the hat. I must have left it on the bus or something. Yeah. So I don't know where it is. But he did the hat and cowl. I didn't do the cowl. I did the hat, but he did both. So it's really awesome. So those are our winners. So I will, like I said, I'll be reaching out to these people on Ravelry, but if you want to reach out to Jessie and let her know which pattern you would like. The next group was Jen has done 4 cowl patterns. And so we picked 4 people who had posted on Instagram using either hashtag Sweet Tea No Shade or hashtag Sweet Tea Cowl or hashtag Cowl because we had not specified the Sweet Tea Cowl yet.
We are learning a lot.
We are learning a lot. But I went back and found the people who had posted cowl under that hashtag for our knit along. So they were included in when I did the random number generator. So I picked 4 because there's 4 patterns. And so the first person was Dinah, Birding Mom.
From
Tacoma, Washington. She took her picture at the Tacoma Art Museum when she was knitting there. I thought that was very cool.
That is very cool.
So you get pattern number 1. Then Natalie, who was in EJ8, who's posted or liked stuff or commented on Instagram and posted on our videos and stuff.
And she's from the UK, right?
Yeah, she's from the UK.
Okay.
And she gets cowl pattern number 2. Then Nicole, who's Tobias for Life, I'm assuming it's Life, Lyph.
Or Liff. Probably
is
Life.
from Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Which is where my grandmother used to live.
Yeah. So, I'm from Georgia originally. I think I've said that a few times. But so that's Nicole. She gets pattern number 3. And then John, who is Codes in Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
From Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, gets cowl pattern number 4. So cool. So if y'all want to reach out to, I'll contact you with the information of getting in touch with Jen from the Color and Life podcast.
And then we have one
who's
more.
Genuine on Ravelry. We do have one more. So the last prize was the mug and honey from the Fuzzy Goat, which is a store in Thomasville, Georgia, that we did our knitting retreat at. Yeah, and so
this is the one that we went through, and we agreed we liked that one and want to do it.
Yeah, the way that I said it previously was the post that motivated seeing it motivated us to want to knit that pattern.
Right.
And so we both kind of were really drawn to post number 66, which was Barry 24 or XXIV, who he did I don't know if it was his own design or if he followed a pattern or what exactly, but it was brioche, and it was almost like a short scarf that was pulled around with a button.
Yeah.
And it looked really...
It looked real cool and looked really warm. Which one was that? Was 66? Well, you'll post it up.
Yeah, I'll post
so the other one. So this is the first runner up, and we had
this is another one we were both drawn to.
We had to agree on it.
We had to agree on it.
So the one the first one when I was going through these was.
But we wanted to mention it.
We wanted to mention it because it's sort of funny. It is LIME call, lime call, or IMECOLL.
It was post number 54.
No, 54, and it's called the Open Waters Cowl. And there will be a picture up. It's so cool. So it looks like coral, and I really, really like it.
And because of this pattern, I think I've discovered that I have trypophobia. or trypophobia. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's this thing where you get the heebie-jeebies when you see things that have holes in it.
Yes.
And... it's like if you've ever seen those seed pods. Most of the time they talk about it, it's like those seed pods that have holes in them. And it's this thing that some people have that you don't like seeing things that have holes in it. Not like it's hard to explain. It's she did an amazing job.
It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. Thing. But something about like the...
Man, at first I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, I want to knit that. And then I'm like, oh, but it's making me very uncomfortable. It's making my tummy hurt. And I don't know why. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I have this condition.
Yeah. There's a shawl, too. So it's called the Open Waters Cowl, and it's by Melanie Berg.
Oh, Melanie Berg. Yeah, I feel like I know that name.
So yeah, it's really, really pretty. And like, it's one of those ones you see it, and like, what I want to do is just buy the pattern and see how it's done. Like, that's kind of one of the things I always...
It's like, how do they do that?
How do they do that? What is that doing? And then, so I will probably make that. The problem is, it might be that would be something I could give to my mom or my sister, because you can't have cowls with holes in them in Minnesota.
You can if you wrap it around.
Yeah, I guess.
Or it looks like it's quite big.
Yeah.
So you could see how long it is. Yeah. So you could double it up. So I think it'd be fine.
It looks really cool. I think I'll probably make it for...
As long as you don't have that condition that I have.
Right, where holes... Well, and these are like very... It's not like it's a hole. It's a very sort of specific type of hole where it looks like an absence. If that makes sense.
Not an abscess.
An absence.
It's a joke. You're supposed to laugh at my jokes.
Love you.
Even if they're not funny.
Love you.
So, congratulations to our winner. Super fun cowl.
I know. What I said this before. I loved how, like, 4 people did the Tesserino shawl, myself included. Bunch of the Valinor cowl. It was just, and then a couple people did the, there were a couple, what is it? That one towards the end. Garter, I can't remember. Anyway,
well, one thing I was going to mention is I think what we did last time is like the first episode we announced that winners and everything, and then the next episode I feel like we went through and kind of showed on the screen some that jumped out at us.
Yeah,
so we might do that at the end of our next episode
next week.
Yeah. Well, depending on when we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to figure out when to fit it in, but I would like to do that again because I want to give people.
Yeah.
I want to show off people, all the work that people did.
Yeah, and I mean...
Even the people that didn't win prizes or whatever.
Yeah, because there are a couple of ones I just want to sort of gush about a little bit more.
Right.
And we are at a stopping... Not a stopping point, but, that could be a whole...
We could all this out. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, I would like to talk about the cowls some more, but I think we're running out of time.
Oh, yes. We've got, the length of the episode, yeah. So, yes. So, we are going to do more knit-alongs. We love doing them, and we've actually had some other folks reach out to us about possibly providing prizes, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah, and we have a couple ideas, but if people have ideas of ones they want to do, let us know, because...
What kind of knit-alongs, yeah.
Yeah. Because the nice thing is that, in the summer, your knit-along stuff gets done. So if we started one in June...
Oh, when it gets done, it'll be time to wear it.
I mean, not quite, but it would be close.
In Minnesota, it'll be time to wear it.
Because we were thinking about doing, a spring knit, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people focus on socks in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, well, thanks, everybody. Again, we love that you guys watch, and we love connecting with people, and love your comments and all that. So.
Yeah, and thanks for, it's been a year.
It has been a year. I can't believe that. That's crazy. But,
I know.
But anyway, we will see you guys soon.